Good morning, or whatever time you're listening. It's Belle Grub, your host of Inspired Lady Podcast. And guys, I have like life updates to give. I also think that this episode is going to be just kind of fun, relaxed, chill, whatever. It's nothing too crazy, just something that I was thinking about as far as like energy and inspiration goes and what gives and what takes. So I thought we'd make a little list of takers and givers. So that way we are very mindful of what is in our life, what we're putting into our life, and what we're trying to maybe remove from our life. I don't know. I think it's going to be really fun. I'm very, very excited, and let's jump right in. Okay, guys, updates. I said I had a lot of updates. Really, when I said that, I have one massive update, and it's that the house, we have a foundation. Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. Okay, so our foundation was poured for our house, and they're dropping off all the lumber this week, and we're literally at the point now where I am like actually seeing our future in this house. Like before, it's always felt very far away just because of the time it takes to build a house, and it almost feels like a dream, like it's not real, it's fake. But like we went to go visit, and we were looking at this place that like we own this land, and like we're literally about to like have this house put here, and our neighbor's house is almost done, which is super exciting. So I'm feeling so blessed about that. It's been so exciting because I've started to like actually plan a little bit more as far as like my office, which is gonna be a podcast studio too, and I'm so excited because it's gonna be all new. A company sent a wallpaper over, and we're gonna wallpaper the one side of the wall. So like obviously there's 4 walls in the bedroom, and one of the walls is going to be wallpapered with this like beautiful artwork that they sent. I'm so excited. I'm gonna get a new desk, and we're gonna have a whole little podcasting setup, so you're gonna want to start watching on YouTube because it's gonna be way more fun than the boxes I've got behind me right now, because we're running out of space in our apartment. And it's not because of anything crazy, you know what I mean? We live in a 2-bedroom, which is great, but what's happened is companies have started reaching out saying like, hey, can we send you this? Can we send you that? So I've gotten like new light bulbs, like I said, the new wallpaper. I got an all new set of pots and pans, like all of this stuff. And I want to make the new house just feel so fresh and new. So I'm not really unboxing a lot of this yet, and I'm keeping a lot of it in its container, or the shipping package or whatever. So like there's just like this whole big old thing of boxes piling up. And they're just gonna sit there behind me right now until we're ready to move. And we're looking at like mid-July. Like, shut up. Mid-July? I'm going to cry. This is so exciting. So it's just really, really fun. But with that being said, like this is gonna be an insane summer. I don't understand how my summers always get so insane, but they do. Like I literally have, like last summer I lived in Georgia for 2 months. And then we were in Europe for a couple weeks backpacking. The summer before that, we like decided to get married in like 3 weeks, and like turned our wedding shower into like this wedding celebration, did this whole thing. I moved to Texas, I graduated school, I started my career. Like summer for me is just like my hectic season, which is fun. I love a hectic season. I really do. I think I thrive in the chaos of it all. But anyways, this is going to be an insane summer because we've got all this travel coming up. And then basically when I get back from Europe, we're going to have just a few weeks until we move into the new house. And then in August, I have a ton of trips too. So it's just like, whoa, okay, this is a lot, but exciting. You know what I mean? It's good stuff. So I'm trying to figure it all out and get it all situated. But that means I'm also batch recording a bunch of podcasts. I try not to batch podcasts most of the time because I love these little updates, and I love to talk about what's like actually happening in the moment and what I think that like I would need during this season. And then like share that with you guys. So this summer is going to be a little bit more batched, but that means that we have like really fun interviews. Like we have a lot of cool guests coming on, and I'm really excited about it. We got some professionals, we got some fun girlies. Like, oh, it's just going to be so fun, and I'm really excited. So anyways, this episode is all about energy givers and takers. Okay. And so when I say energy, I do want to make this like little clarification, if you will, that I'm not talking about like new age, like energy here where it's like, oh, that person's energy is like wild. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking about that right now. I'm like genuinely talking about like true energy, like motivation, like the ability to like move. I'm like the transferable energy, if we want to get all scientific on it. I'm like genuinely talking about like the ability to like wake up, get up, do your thing, all of that stuff. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about energy. And I've said this before. Oh my gosh, I'm about to be so real with you guys. I think that if there was one like trap that I were to fall into, like I said this in a theology class once, okay? Like I said this to my professor. It's just in front of a class. And I said, if I wasn't a Christian, I think I'd be very into the new age stuff, very into the new age. And for that reason, I have put very, very heavy guards around my life for that stuff, because I think it's fun to think about like, oh, the stars, and I think there's a little bit of a pride aspect to it, of thinking about you're in more control when you think about like the manifestation aspect, where you're like, oh, I manifested that, or my energy, my chakras, like all of that, you know what I mean? And so it's an easy trap for me to fall into, because I find myself intrigued by it. I'm very, very intrigued by it. So anyways, I put up a lot of cards. I really do. And I make sure that, I never like will check my zodiac or anything. And not that I think that if you do, you're like this horrible sinner. Because sometimes they're funny. Sometimes they're funny as heck, man. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's so stupid. But I also know that sometimes I get wrapped up in those things. Like I'm a big personality quiz person. I love the idea of like knowing who you are and who you're meant to be, and birth charts. Like that intrigues me. So anyways, when I'm talking about energy, I'm not talking about that stuff. Okay, I'm really not, and I never really will be, because like I said, your girl's got to protect herself, and I know that that's a trap that I could fall into. Moving on. That was just like a really real moment for you guys, okay? Moving on. I want to talk about energy takers first. So these are things that I think genuinely drain us. So we're going to start on that negative little part, and then we're going to jump up to what we can do to give energy, okay? And this is just stuff that I find helps me in my day to remember. Sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm like, why do I feel so down? And I'm like, oh, because I've really been entertaining a lot of energy takers right now. Okay, so these are some energy takers, okay? First one, inconsistent sleep. I think that when our sleep schedule, our circadian rhythm is super, super off, it is literally the biggest energy taker, okay? And that means that you're just not following the sleep pattern that your body really is meant to have, and that can be really hard. And there are reasons for that, you know what I mean? Sometimes like people's jobs make it so they can't follow their circadian rhythm, or a proper sleep schedule, but like inconsistent sleep is truly, to me, the biggest energy taker. And it's hard. It's really hard. A couple things that I do to combat that is, I know we've talked about this before, I do have only red lights in the bedroom when we try to go down to go to sleep. So our nightstands have like the red light bulbs in it. So it's only red light at night to help kind of soothe the body a little bit and get rid of that blue light effect. Reading before bed is really helpful to try to wind down, and then having a consistent-ish bedtime is really good too. Oh my gosh, I just realized we didn't do the drink of the day. Shut up. Oh my gosh, wait, hold on, pause. We're drinking an almond milk latte with coconut. Thank you. Thank you very much. Anyways, moving on. So I think that having a really consistent time that you try to go to bed, like within an hour, okay, of every night. So for me, that's 9 and 10. Truthfully, it's 9 and 10. Like around 9 o'clock, I'm like, it's time to, start thinking about going to bed. And then by 10 o'clock, like the goal is to be in bed. And then my wake up time is between 6:30 and 7, ideally. I'm not gonna lie to you. This morning, we slept in. It's really hard on the days where Matt, my husband, is more, he's off of work or works later in the day. It's just a hard time. Okay, next energy taker. Clutter. Guys, this one for me is like, I could talk about this for forever. Clutter is so dramatic in my mind. I think that because there's so much going on in life, and because there's so much going on in my mind, that clutter tends to be really, really draining for me. I need a clear space because that represents my mind, my mindset, what I'm doing with my mind, all of the things. So getting rid of clutter, that's my number one. Well, no, I said sleep was my number one. So number two option for trying to recognize energy takers. If you're surrounded by dirty dishes piling up, chaos around you, packages that need to be opened or discarded of, laundry all over the place. It's just, it takes your energy. It really does, okay? Next energy taker, people pleasing. That one's massive for me. I find that so much of my energy goes towards trying to make sure other people are happy. And I think that there is a level of kindness to that. And I do think that it's important to some extent to honor other people and to really try and seek what's best for them and not always be so selfish with your time. But sometimes it's a little too much, and sometimes you're so focused on other people and what you can do for them that you're not really taking the time that you need to pull in more energy for yourself. You're pushing it all out, and that's just going to lead to burnout. Next, unrealistic goals. Nothing will take your energy like trying to pursue unrealistic or undefined goals, okay? Undefined goals, I think, are my biggest pet peeve in all of life, when people are like, yeah, my goal is to, I'm trying to think of one that doesn't have to do with weight, because I feel like every person, like whenever they give an example, a goal, it's always about weight. Okay, here's one. My goal is to reach 10,000 followers on Instagram. That is the most like, okay, cool, you have a number, but that's not helpful. Like that's nothing. My goal is to be a content creator. Nothing. My goal is to make $100,000 next. Okay, like that's not gonna do anything. And those can be overarching motivational goals, but like you got to have better goals, because otherwise every single day you're gonna wake up and be like, oh, I don't have $100,000 in the bank account. I'm not a content creator, and I don't have 10,000 followers. So cool, I'm a failure. You know, like start defining your goals, actionable steps, all of that. Next taker. Ooh, this one's good, guys. Screen time. This is a huge energy taker. So bad for all of us. Like literally getting my screen time report is sometimes so exhausting. And like I work on my phone, so sometimes I can rationalize it away, but also then I'm like, okay, but I don't think I was working from my phone that much, because I know I was working on my computer too. So I think that when we look at our screen time and we see how much time we're spending either on social media or Netflix or whatever that is, it's a lot, and it really does drain your energy. It's a lot of watching other people live lives instead of like embracing your life. And I think that will never give you energy. It might be cool and you might go into it for a moment of inspiration or motivation, but truthfully, it tends to be more of an energy taker than a giver. And that's just hard. It really is. Last one of the energy takers, and then we're going to move into the givers, okay? Surrounding yourself with mean people. Now, nothing will take my energy quite like a negative person or a person where I feel like I'm competing with them, okay? You know the people I'm talking about, where like when you get together, it's like low-key a competition. Like low-key, you're like, oh, how are you? And then they're like, oh, really good. How are you? And you're like, oh, I am like really, really good. Especially in high school. Oh my gosh. I just feel drained thinking about some of these conversations I had where I just felt like such a need to like prove myself. I don't surround myself with those people anymore. I really don't. I choose not to. I choose to be around people that where I ask them like, how are you? And they're like, good. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness. Praise Jesus. I've been praying for you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just so much better and so much more fulfilling than people that you feel like you're competing with. It's true. It's true. I'm sorry. Anywho, I think that's a big one. And I'm going to say something interesting. Okay. So, I've been thinking about this so much. I'm so glad I'm getting to talk about this. Okay. You know how when people say you're most like the top 5 people that you spend your time with, okay? So like you have to be really careful who's your inner circle, because you kind of begin to be like them. Your life will kind of mirror them. And it's very interesting because there's a lot of science backing this. A lot of really, really amazing professionals are like, yes, this is true. Protect your inner circle, all the things, okay? Now, for the first time ever in the history of anything, we are able to be near people who we really shouldn't be, okay? What am I saying? I'm saying right now, you're listening to me on a podcast, okay? And so are, which is exciting, like multiple other people, okay? And we're spending time together. We're going to spend the next, like, we're here, we're going to spend 20, 30 minutes together. And you're hearing my perspective, you're spending time with me. And I'm going to even take this step further. Like, you can do this then with like Ed Milet. Ed Milet is one of the coolest men, biggest entrepreneurs, most motivational men I've ever heard speak. He has a podcast. He has 2 podcasts that drop a week. Okay. And twice a week, I'm getting poured into by this Christian entrepreneur who is literally famous because he inspires and motivates people to move forward in their life. Okay. So he should not be in my inner circle. In no world outside of an internet-based one am I able to be poured into by Ed Milet. In no world am I able to talk with like Lisa Harper, the theologian, and get her insight weekly. So what I'm saying is for the first time ever, that group of 5 that we surround ourselves with aren't necessarily people that are within our direct community, but now we're getting to surround ourselves with people who are like kind of massive, kind of huge, kind of like major in the realm of whatever they're experts in. So when you say that the 5 people you surround yourself with are like the most influential to you, this is changing because I also think that this goes for TV. I'm not even kidding. I think that when you watch a show and it has like multiple seasons and you become invested with it and you're like daily checking in or at least weekly on these like characters, I think that they begin to rub off on you. I'm not even gonna lie, like when we were little, my brother and I weren't allowed to watch Disney Channel shows, like some of them, not all of them, because the siblings were mean to each other. And whenever Drew and I started watching these shows together, like we became meaner to each other because it was like, oh, it was funnier. It was more interesting than like just being chill with each other all the time. So like literally, I think that this goes for TV shows. I think this goes for influencers that maybe like you keep up with more regularly, where you like watch every one of their stories or whatever they post or like checking in, because for the first time ever, you're literally getting to be involved in people's lives that you would have never known otherwise. And so when we surround ourselves with people who are maybe a little bit more toxic or meaner or whatever, it can be a really big energy taker. But I am going to flip this then, and we're going to move into the energy givers. And I think it goes for the other side. If you spend your time listening to podcasts or following people on social media who inspire you, don't create a spirit of jealousy in you, but inspire you, help you to feel like things are more possible and that there's like excitement moving forward, that is really, really good. And if you're listening to podcasts of people who are experts in their field, who are really solid in their belief system and they're exciting to listen to, those are people that you're now surrounding yourself with. Now, I'm not a scientist. It probably isn't the same as like the people that you're like seeing face to face, but I'm just saying like, for the first time ever, you're literally getting to surround yourself with a whole new group. And if you're listening to 5 podcasts a week that are just really empowering, those people are feeding into you in a way that has never been done before. And that's really exciting because I think that you can pull energy from that. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my voice. Okay. Energy givers besides that. Water. I'm so sorry. That's so annoying of me to say, but I'm not joking. Water seriously is like the life giver, okay? And I'm gonna say it. If you don't have a little emotional tumbler water bottle, it helps. I swear. I'm not one that usually is like, products changed my life completely all the time, because I think you can make do with what you have. But having a nice tumbler, water bottle, whatever, that is just your go-to, make sure you wash it, but it's your go-to. It's really good. It's really helpful. Next one, a nice long walk outside. That is an energy giver. It really is. Something about fresh air and just moving your body, but not in a way that's like demanding, just a nice walk. It's lovely. It's beautiful. It's exciting. It's brilliant. And, whether or not you choose to wear headphones and listen to something, whether or not you choose to just walk is your choice. But I think that it's beneficial either way. A little disappointed. Today it's 97 degrees and it's looking like it's going to be a very hot summer. It's May, guys. It's May. And it's 97 degrees here in Texas. And that's just today. And I just feel like because I've been gone the last couple of summers, I haven't experienced the heat. And July, August, we're going to be like moving in the Texas heat. And I'm just not ready for it. So the long walks outside, I'm going to have to wake up at like 6 a.m. here soon to start doing this. But you know, we're going to do it because it's an energy giver. And we like that, okay? Reading a good book, that's my next energy giver, and that's so true. And I'm not even saying a self-help book. Sometimes I find that I don't actually like self-help books. I'll read a few every once in a while just to make sure I'm staying up to date with everything because I love to talk about personal development here on the podcast. So I want to make sure I'm, staying educated. But sometimes they're a lot. They're a lot. And so read a good book, man. I kind of want to do like a little book club episode here soon, or maybe like a bonus episode. Oh, that'd be fun. What if we did a bonus book club episode? That would be super fun. Let me know what you think. Okay. And talk about some of my favorite reads. I've been in a little book club, and it's been so fun because like everyone has their like little genres that they like to like read, and then we all come in and we like share what we've read in those genres, and it's helped me branch out a lot, which has been so fun. So anyways, I'm very, very excited about all of my readings. I think I'm on Goodreads. I think I am. You know what? I'm going to go see if I can get that set up so you guys can check out what I've been reading. If you wanted to, no pressure. But I think that it is an energy giver instead of spending time necessarily watching like TV or scrolling or doing whatever. I think reading a book is just a really good way to rest and kind of build back some of their energy stores, okay? Next one, music while cooking a new recipe. Okay, this is not sponsored. I've been using HelloFresh. Well, I only really use HelloFresh when I get a really good coupon, but I got a really, really good coupon in the mail, and so we've had it for the past month. It's been really fun because I feel like I'm learning a lot about cooking. It's been very exciting. I've been loving it, and I turn on some music, and I just dance in my kitchen while I'm making a new recipe. It's been very, very fun. Next, a nap and a snack. And I will never, ever, ever say that this is not one of the best energy givers, okay? A nap and a snack. One of my favorite things to remind people of is in the Bible, in the Old Testament, when I believe it was Elijah was having a really rough day. Things weren't going well. It was just a messy, messy situation. And God literally was like, take a nap, have a snack. You'll feel so much better. So he did that, and then he was able to keep running because he was running from people. And I love to reference that when people come to me and they're like, oh, I'm just having a really bad day, or I'm feeling very overwhelmed or frustrated, and they're just in a really low place. I literally will be like, well, you know what the Bible says. And I love it because everyone always is like, what does the Bible say? Like expecting me to be like, you need to go pray about this. You need to go be in the Word. Even though those are all helpful things, sometimes when you're in an exhausted moment, you don't want to be told to go do more. And I'll be like, take a nap and have a snack. And everyone's like, wait, what? And so I remind them of this story of when you're drained and when you're tired and things aren't going well. That's sometimes a really good answer. So go make yourself a snack and, take a nap. I love it, okay? And then my last one, a really good energy giver, like in a very tangible way, very tangible step. Put on some moisturizer on your face. Well, wash your face, put on some moisturizer, and then ice roll. Even if you just have an ice cube, just run it under the undersides of your eye, or down your neck a little bit, right where your glands are. I don't know what glands they are, but they're right there. The ones that swell when you get sick, I would know because I've been sick this past week. Anyways, just kind of run some ice around it, and it will wake you up. You'll feel so much better. Very tangible, very practical steps. So this was not a very serious episode, but I hope you guys had fun with it because I definitely did. I was having so much fun coming up with this list of givers and takers. And yeah, it's just really important to be mindful of what's taking your energy in a really bad way, something that doesn't need your energy, and then what gives you energy back. Obviously, there's so many more and they're all unique to you. But I hope that this was just a little fun something for you guys, okay? Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you all next week.